Howdy, hopefully you are all doing alright and staying safe, and hello and welcome back to some more Minecraft Paradise Golden Age, episode 1100 and something. Yes, I keep forgetting to check the number. uh, but hopefully you are all doing alright and staying safe. I am a little bit jank today, my webcam's decided to be a bit jank, and I am looking kinda to the side for some reason, and I don't understand why. I might need a new webcam, but who knows? Who knows? Alright. So, last episode we left off working on this tiny little island here. Oh, why am I in grave? What? Oh, okay, I guess now. This was from when I was taking the photo for the, what do you call it, post that I made on Twitter. I totally forgot about that. Alright, so, let us go and we'll head on back over here. Sorry, I was taking a screenshot earlier for, what do you call it, posting to Twitter to try and get some ideas from people. I say Twitter because Blue Sky, you know. I don't get many good suggestions on Blue Skies for some reason. And I don't get any interactions on Twitter, so you know. Both of them are just not as good for when I'm posting Minecraft. Alright. So, let us go and we'll head on in here. I'm looking for sand. I want to see if I have any sand left over from older builds. Yes, I do. That I can use for this. So I'm going to try and complete this today. Oh, I closed the door on me. Let's see, there's some cobblestone here. Cobblestone there. And quite a bit of cobblestone there as well. I'll shove that in there and I'll grab that. I'll shove some of that in there as well so I can just carry a little bit more cobblestone. So, I have some ideas. So, I asked on what do you call it, Twitter, for what I was going to do for the rest of the town. And I got a pretty good idea from a Mog Swamp. And that was the, what do you call it, the area up north, I tell you, has always been an area of not too mountainous, to be honest. Like, yeah, we do have these little bits that go up every once in a while. But it's very rare that happens. And I have these, and I have not used these in quite a while, and I do think I might actually demolish these and rebuild a new idea, or a new version of this somewhere else. But I do have another idea, and I was given the idea of salt flats. And I really like that idea because I can combine white wool and concrete, and I feel like I can do a quite nice design with it. The only problem is, white wool is very hard to get sometimes, because sheep are kinda outspawned by some of the other mobs. But that does not really matter. What does matter is that this area here is actually not that bad in height distribution. You can see it goes up and down a tiny bit. About like 4 blocks is like, you know, how far it goes up and down. And that is great, because that means it can be easily leveled out and we can start a construction project there. I do want to work on this river though. This river, I think, has potential. And I'm actually thinking about rebuilding the river from scratch. Yes, from scratch. I built this river so long ago to connect these 2 points over here instead of going all the way around. And I've yet to actually break through that one area. 1100 episodes and I'm still yet to break through this one wall here so I can sail my boat all the way around. Even though there's a perfectly good straight to go right. Oh, you gotta love Minecrafters' brains. Alright. But I was actually thinking about maybe taking the river through this area here, and then maybe cutting it through town. I think that could be a good idea. Cut it through town, and then I can work another idea off of it, because I got the idea of salt flats, and I also got ideas of the salt harvesting areas that a lot of ancient cities had, and I thought, that could be good. And the reason why I thought it could be good is because I have a lot of endstone, and I do want to go get more endstone eventually for this build project. I was thinking of making little tiny canals, like 1 block wide, and making them go around into these squares and all that, and there would be like tons of squares, but they would just be this main route of water heading into like certain areas, or areas already filled with water, or areas partially already started salting. That is my idea for that. And I think I can definitely do that. Apart from, I'm going to need a lot of bone meal for all of that concrete. Also, ignore my dog in the background. He knows his time is in like 2 hours, and he wants to go out a little bit earlier. Even though he was out, later than usual, he wants to decide, I want out earlier. I want out now. Even though he's not supposed to go out for another... Well, it's not actually 2 hours now anyway, so... Another hour or two. Yeah, another hour or two. Let me move that there. Alright. So, we're going to go and we're going to continue flattening this all out. This area is going to be probably dedicated to, I think, a little tiny fort. I'm not sure the size of the fort, but I do know that if I do ever need to break down this build, it probably won't be too hard to do. I might eat those words, who knows, I probably will. My brain says I probably will. Alright, so let us go and fill in all of this. But I do feel like I could easily break down this, I do have this drill that I built so long ago and I've just never used. Because Brain has decided, no, you won't use your drill. You will use a pickaxe like a normal Minecrafter. But I want to use the drill that I built. No, you will build it like a Minecrafter would. But I do want to get another screenshot later. The thing is, I keep going into Spectator, or trying to go into Spectator, if I show you. Game mode S? That's survival. Is there no Spectator in this one? There is a Spectator. No wonder it has always been such a trouble to get Spectator. I am so sorry about that. I just wanted to demonstrate that. I don't normally go into like creative or anything apart from when it comes to major bug problems, because I am playing on a modded mod pack, I tell you. There's a lot of like collisions that you have with certain mobs spawning or certain stuff spawning. And quite literally, something will never spawn if, something's messed up with the code. So I have to always go in, check what's the problem, and if it comes under like a certain amount of like things, like, oh, this is quite literally impossible to get. But I can, get it and, have it thingied in case, I do want to use it at some point. And that's probably for, certain crops that are supposed to spawn in like forests like this, but because they're already generated, or because a certain amount of terrain is generated outwards, they won't spawn in a certain amount of area. That's why it took us so long to find one of these modded areas, but we couldn't go into this because it was too modded, and it would cause crashes. It's really one of my most hated things, is I love modded biomes, but many of them are just not very good in coding, that they cause a lot of issues for me. And let's see. It's why coconuts are basically impossible to get, so I can't go to the not Parent Harvest Craft, Tropicraft, that's it, Tropicraft. I can't go to Tropicraft for quite a while. I was going to make it a whole goal that I would do a certain amount of stuff, and then for that task, I would get rewarded a coconut, so that I could make a pina colada. Yes, that's how I was going to canalize it. Is canalize a good word for that? I'm not sure. There we go. I gotta look for more cobblestone eventually. There we go. And let's head over here. I wanted to finish off this island today specifically because it is so close to completion. And I wanted to get it out the way. I don't know about the ramparts. I really do want to do some ramparts, but I'm afraid that I might make them look a little bit bad. So I don't know if I should rely on endstone for the ramparts, or should I swap it out for sandstone? Or I could try mixing the two together, so it kind of looks more wizard. I want to do that with the endstone around here, so hopefully I can get that mixed together. I'm out of thingies, aren't I? I say I'm out of cobblestone, and then I have this shulker that has cobblestone in it. Ah, a day in the life of a Minecrafter, huh? There we go. Let us go, and we'll go place down all of this. I really love just seeing stuff form in a map. I don't know what it is, it's just satisfying. I know sometimes the map can be a bit overcrowded by chat. I totally forgot it was up in the right hand corner. And sometimes chat just goes over the map, so you can't really see my exact location sometimes. But at least you can see the coordinates. I actually do plan on trying to track down the exact location of my son's grave to the actual coordinate. Specifically because I want to build a monument. I know it's been so long since my son Bobby Cloud died. Some of you probably don't even know who Bobby Cloud is, but Bobby Cloud was my second or first son. First son. Or second son, I'm not sure. He was the first one to grow up. And so I was going to transport him to an area. I was going to build him a house. I was going to go find him a partner. And for all of that, I took them through a forest at the night. And they were ambushed by skeletons and a creeper, and sadly were killed. It still hurts to this day, you know. I should have been more careful. But I was a fool, I tell you. I was a fool. It still hurts. If only I had better hindsight at the time to not take them through a area at night time, which is very, like, you know, hard to navigate for an NPC. But no, I had to take them through the area, and that caused them to die. But you know what? Mistakes happen. Mistakes happen. There we go. I feel like I've hurt my throat a bit, or I have a cold coming on, and it's affected my right vocal cord. I think it would be the right vocal cord, yeah. Right side of the vocal cord. Oh, that brings me back to a story. That brings me back to a story there. It was primary school back in the day, and it was my first day. And this other kid who I think had autism too. The thing is, I didn't get diagnosed for ages due to how bad the, you know, UK, what you call it, thing for that is. Let's see. Which is really annoying, I tell you, which is really annoying. But I remember it was my first day, and I got grabbed by this person by the throat. And, you know, we basically had this throat standoff, because obviously if you're in a life and death situation, you obviously grab the person where they've just grabbed you, and that was the throat. So we were just having a standoff until the teacher came over. The thing is, you know, like, that could have done, like, real damage, you know, that kid could have killed me there, you know. It really annoys me that the teacher did nothing. There we go. Sorry, I was just thinking back to that when I, what do you call it, sought back to vocal cords. I feel like that did do a number on my vocal cord, because that really hurt back then. Maybe that's why I sound like I do today. That is an interesting fact. Maybe that is why I sound like I do today. That is pretty intriguing. Let's see. Let me put that there. I've seen if I had any sand on me, but I don't think I brought my sand shulker. I was so sure that I would have got myself a